Welcome back. The news in details. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Monday received World Health Organization General Director Tedros Adhanom. Presidential spokesman said the WHO director handed the president an official certificate that announced Egypt as the first country to attain a golden milestone in the fight against hepatitis C. WHO representative in Egypt said the country, under the presidential initiative 100 million healths, presented treatment to 93% of infected people, a record that bypassed the golden level set for eradicating the virus. The organization also hailed the Egyptian programs that limited the spreading of the virus through improvements that help maintain safety of blood and medicine. The WHO also thanked Egypt for integrating vulnerable categories into its treatment plans, including refugees, asserting its full support to the Egyptian Health Ministry. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also held a meeting on Monday with South Korea's National Assembly Speaker Kim Jin-pyo. The meeting was attended by House of Representatives Speaker Hanafi Gebeli. Presidential spokesman Councillor Ahmed Fahmy said the two sides stressed their mutual satisfaction at the close ties binding the two friendly states and the recent boom in their bilateral relations. The two sides also expressed willingness to upgrade the joint cooperation, notably in economic fields. The meeting also witnessed an exchange of views over regional and international developments. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received a phone call from Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman that dealt with the developments in the Palestinian territories and their impact on the civilians' lives and regional stability. The two leaders agreed during the phone call on the importance of commitment to restraint in order to avoid the deterioration in humanitarian and security situations. Presidential spokesman Councillor Ahmed Fahmy said that President el-Sisi and Prince bin Salman agreed to continue coordination between Egypt and Saudi Arabia during the coming stage to confirm the Arab vision regarding the Palestinian cause. Earlier, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received a phone call from the United Arab Emirates President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan that dealt with the developments in the Palestinian territories and efforts to stem ongoing military escalation. The two presidents agreed on intensifying both coordination and consultations and pushing diplomatic efforts with the aim of de-escalation and providing protection to civilians. The phone talks tackled means of launching negotiations that lead to peaceful, just, comprehensive and lasting solution that guarantees regional security and stability. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received on Monday a phone call from Austria's Chancellor Karl Nehammer to discuss the developments of the current escalation between the Palestinian and Israeli sides. During the phone talks, President el-Sisi called for boosting regional and international efforts to contain the situation and end the ongoing violence, as well as to protect civilians. The President stressed the necessity of advancing the path of a comprehensive and fair settlement of the Palestinian cause on the basis of the two-state solution. The head of state also called on all parties to exercise restraint and prevent the deterioration of the situation in the Palestinian territories. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received a phone call from Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The presidential spokesman, Councillor Ahmed Fahmy, said that the phone call tackled coordination regarding the containment of escalating violence between the Palestinian and Israeli sides. The two presidents agreed on urging all sides to stick to immediately cease fire. They also stressed on the significance of ending the Palestinian-Israeli conflict permanently in a way that gives hope to Palestinians and depends on the two-state solution. Also on Monday, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received a phone call from the Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulidis, where the two leaders tackled current efforts to halt escalation between the Palestinian and Israeli sides. The two presidents agreed on the importance of unifying efforts on the regional and international levels to contain the situation, urging Palestinians and Israelis to stick to restraint and stop the escalation. Presidential spokesman Councillor Ahmed Fahmy said that the phone call tackled means of boosting the strong ties between Egypt and Cyprus within the framework of trilateral cooperation mechanism with Greece. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received on Monday a phone call from the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. Presidency spokesperson Qasr Ahmad Fahmy said that the talks touched on the escalating developments of the current Palestinian-Israeli crisis, in addition to the deteriorating humanitarian conditions in the Gaza Strip. President el-Sisi and the UN chief agreed on the danger the crisis poses to peace and security in the region and the need to reach a ceasefire on all fronts, to protect civilians and to allow diplomatic efforts to contain the situation, restore calm and revive the peace process. During the phone call, the head of state stressed on the need for serious work to find a just solution to the Palestinian cause in accordance with the relevant United Nations resolutions, in line with Egypt's continuous efforts to provide support for any future steps in this regard. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry received on Monday phone calls from his Portuguese counterpart, João Gomes Carvino, his Norwegian counterpart, Anniken Hudelfeld, and his Slovenian counterpart, Tanja Fajon. Foreign Ministry spokesperson and the manager of the General Diplomacy Department, Ambassador Ahmed Abu Zaid, stated that the calls focused on coordination and consultation on the severe escalation in the Gaza Strip and its premises, as well as the exerted efforts to contain the crisis, to halt the armed confrontations and to avoid targeting civilians. Abu Zaid said that during the phone calls, Egypt's top diplomat had informed his counterparts on Egypt's efforts to reduce the escalation between the Palestinians and Israelis and to urge the concerned parties to prioritize the track of truce in adhering to self-restraint. Shoukry also stressed on the importance of prompt ceasefire in the Gaza Strip to save civilians more risks and losing lives. Abu Zaid also said that the foreign ministers agreed on the significance of ongoing coordination to guarantee reaching the aspired truce and to give a chance to regain security and stability. A forum entitled Media, Artificial Intelligence and Sustainable Development, Future Visions was held on the latest scientific researches in this domain. It was attended by Minister of Youth and Sports Dr. Ashraf Subhi and many senior officials. Nal TV's Basma Taha was there and filed in this report.
Under the auspices of President of the Arab Academy for Science, Technology and Maritime Transport, Dr. Ismail Abdul Ghaffar, a forum entitled Media, Artificial Intelligence and Sustainable Development Future Visions was held. It was attended by many high-ranking officials.
As we have seen nowadays, since last November, many advancements are going on, taking place in artificial intelligence applications, many applications, many versions of ChatGPT. So now we have to start thinking everything, how will be affected by artificial intelligence.
The forum hosted many international agencies, organizations, artificial intelligence industry leaders, and academic experts. The forum is about media, sustainable development, and artificial intelligence. Our aim is to benefit from artificial intelligence. Many researchers from different countries are taking part in the forum. The second edition of the forum brings together industry experts to discuss technological developments and the results of scientific research in the fields of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a very significant issue. It has a great impact on all sectors of life. We tackled many issues like challenges facing achieving sustainable development. This year's edition seeks to enhance scientific research towards sustainable development goals. This forum comes at a crucial time as it tackles the significance of artificial intelligence and scientific research in achieving sustainable development. This in return will lead to a flourishing scientific future. Basma Taha for Nile TV International.
Thank you, Basma. These were all the political news. Now it's time for the economic updates, and these are the headlines. Welcome back. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stressed on Monday that there is a continuous follow-up plan to ensure the availability of staple commodities, besides the availability of raw materials needed for the industrial sector. He also pointed to updates related to initial public offerings that the government has recently announced as part of the state's possession policy document. Madbouli's remarks came in a cabinet meeting with ministers of supply, planning, finance and central bank's governor to follow up on the needs of local markets and the availability of staple commodities. Following the cabinet meeting, the Premier held a press conference over the state's fiscal policy and measures to tackle inflation and high rates. Egypt's stock market indices collectively went up in the trading session on Monday after selective purchasing operations by Arab and foreign investment funds, and investors reached high rates and exceeded profit-making selling operations by local investors. So the benchmark EGX 30 index gained 0.27%. The EGX 70 index for small and medium businesses also rose 0.78%. And the broader EGX 100 index also added 0.55%. Meanwhile, the market capital of listed companies gained 23 billion Egyptian pounds to close at 1 trillion and 299 billion, amid transactions of about 4.6 billion pounds.